Good afternoon, traders and investors. Will back here with another one. And today was a very volatile day in the markets after the CPI report, guys. So we're going to take a look at exactly what the data said. A bit of a mixed reaction. Big sell-off after the news, but then recovery into the end of the day. So we'll take a look at the news and see how we stand on inflation. Obviously, we will go over our major indexes as well as our major tech names to wrap up the video. Without further ado, guys, let's get right into it. So CPI day, big day, guys. We were waiting for it. We were waiting to see if the trend continues down, and it was slightly up. So CPI actually coming in a little bit hotter than expected, which was the worst case scenario here, as it does potentially lead the Fed into delaying rate cuts here. So we'll take a look at the Fed probabilities for rate decreases in March as well. So SPY on the day, down only 0.4% here, guys. The indexes were down over 0.5%, almost down to 0.7, 0.8% on the QQQs as well, but recovering nicely intraday here. So ending the day, 0.04% to the red side, QQQ up 0.21%. Beautiful recovery by technology in the middle of the day, but financials and healthcare pulling a little bit back. On the heat map here, guys, you can see that the market was fairly mixed as a whole here today. Few outliers here in big tech. Amazon, NVIDIA had another good day, Microsoft as well. But a lot of your other major tech, namely Tesla severely underperforming the market, and some decent little performance here by healthcare, but fairly mixed market as a whole. On the one-day relative, you'll see that most of our major indexes here were in the red, led down by utilities, technology etching out a slight little gain here. On the 1 week, it's fairly mixed. Utilities, energy, basic materials still in the red, but technology and consumers and communication services, guys, which is led by your Google and Meta stocks here, still in the green. So what exactly happened on CPI, guys? Well, we came in a little bit hotter than expected here. Consumer price index increased 0.3% in December and 3.4% from a year ago, compared with respective estimates of 0.2 and 3.2. So not only did we lose on the month over month in terms of a bearish read, we also lost on the year-over-year comparisons here by 0.2%. And I was saying that the most bearish case scenario was about 3.5, but nonetheless, very negative read indeed. Excluding volatile food and energy prices, so-called core CPI also rose 0.3% for the month and 3.9% from a year ago, compared with the respective estimates of 0.3 and 3.8. So a little bit higher on our core here to 3.9 from 3.8. But it is the first month where core is coming in under 4% here, guys. So that is a little bit of silver lining amongst the bad news. Much of the increase came due to rising shelter costs. And we'll take a look at the breakdown of the costs here as well. What rose, what fell. The category rose 0.5% for the month and accounted for more than half the core CPI increase. So rent prices still a little bit sticky in the US market, so it seems. Now take a look at this chart right here, guys. You will see that as a whole, we have been trending down on CPI for the better part of the last year. But getting below this 3% mark for the last 6 months has been proving to be a little bit of a challenge. And that was what the Fed was concerned about here. Is inflation going to be able to trend down to 2%, or will it kind of get stuck here? So we still have a few meetings. We still have a few meetings here in terms of the Fed, right? Fed meeting coming out end of January, and then we have one in March, and the next one will be in May. So January is still said to be a no change on terms of the rate, the interest rates here. So we're still in a little bit of a pause atmosphere, but all eyes are on the March cut. And before the March cut, we potentially do have 2 more CPI readings and a couple more job statistics as well. So we'll see how those goes. You can see this line coming beautifully down here on core. Core now finally under 4% here, guys, for the first time since 2021. So that is a little bit of positive news. Now, where is all the inflation coming from here, guys? Well, you'll see all items. This is our headline inflation number 3.4. Food is actually coming down significantly, guys. On a 12-month basis, food is actually now in the 2% range. You can see fairly mixed data, except for your food away from home. That still remains a little bit rich here in terms of your restaurants, of course. Energy really pulling its weight to the downside here. You'll see most of our energy is currently in deflationary territory. So that's a bit of a bullish read right there. And now here is your core, right? All items less food and energy, 3.9%, finally under 4%. What is sticky here, guys? Well, we'll see, right? Used cars and trucks are coming down, but the medical care commodities still well in the green here, 4.7% to the upside. Tobacco and smoking products, small little category for CPI, but nonetheless, that is still stuck at your 8% range as well. And take a look here, guys. Here is the kicker. Shelter less energy services, your shelter costs, guys, still very, very sticky as the housing market has not corrected as much as the rest of your assets have so far. So that is still pending reductions here in terms of inflation rates as we continue to battle with supply and demand of housing. But you can see most of your inflation here is well within your shelter costs. And as well, a heavy read that came in month over month and year over year still remains in transportation costs here, guys. Transportation costs, and another big one, motor vehicle insurance came in with a heck of a big read here today. Airline fares to the downside here, but your motor vehicle insurance and your transportation costs, still a few sticky elements. So that services side of inflation, which we've been talking about for the past couple of months, guys, continues to remain sticky. So here is your chart. I'll move myself over again. Apologies for that. Here's your chart for overall inflation, guys. But when you add these services, guys, take a look at this, right? Services, this yellow line right here, still too sticky for the markets, right? Still one of our most bearish reads in terms of CPI, has not come down as much as your goods have as a whole. So that's really where the rest of the CPI needs to be pulled out of the market here, guys. Now let's take a look at the Fed Watch tool to give an estimate of what exactly happened. You'll see yesterday's video. I pulled this up. Yesterday, we were standing at about 64, 65% for a probability of a rate cut in March. After today's report, guys, this actually increased now to 70.2%. And the market is still pricing in over 50% for 6 rate cuts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 as we move down the year, right, is going to be pricing in these rate cuts. So it's a bit of a case of the market really expecting bullish things. Now, can the market be disappointed if inflation doesn't come down fast enough? Yes. The problem with having priced in so many rate cuts here after this November-December rally, this is the reason for the rally, we started pricing in rate cuts. If it happens to lead to disappointment and inflation stays a little bit stickier than expected and the Fed stays tighter for longer, we're going to end up in a situation like we had in September, where the Fed came out and said no, they were really hard on the sticky inflation here, and the job was not done yet. And they reiterated that they're going to hold rates higher for longer. And this is what pretty much kicked off your September and October sell-off here. So will we have a case where the market may be disappointed and may have a little bit of a temper tantrum because it's not getting the rate decreases that it wants? That's what we're going to forecast here, guys. But as you guys all well know, very, very hard to predict what the market is going to do 3, 6, 12 months down the line. We're better off just focusing on our short-term price action here, finding well-valued companies with decent cash flows, decent profit margins that can weather whatever the market's going to throw at us. And that's why we're consistently looking for opportunities in these markets. So far, the bulls still remain in control. We have done a good job of recapturing today's price action. And as a whole, guys, I was reading through the articles and headlines today. A couple of Fed members came out and commented on the CPI report, and they indeed said that it did not change much, that the target is still for 2.5% towards the year end. They're still confident in their ability to continue to bring inflation down, even if they do have to do a little bit of a rate cut cycle here midway through the year. Keep in mind, guys, that these rates are a lagging effect, and all of the earnings that we've been going over so far do show deflationary pressures, especially in terms of pricing, and also show the consumer is slowing down its purchases. So there's really no indication that inflation is going to go to the upside. It's just that bringing it that extra little mile down to 2%, guys, is what's proving to be challenging. So we're going to keep monitoring these CPI reports as they come out. My stance on the market has not changed either. I do still believe that 2024 should be a very decent year, all things considered, with the rate cycle cuts coming later in the year here, guys. But we're really going to continue to be data dependent. The next few months are going to be absolutely crucial for the CPI reports, the job reports, the Fed's stance on policy, and especially this Q1 earnings here. So the end of January Q1 earnings and what the Fed says at the end of the month is going to be a pivotal moment here to determine our current market structure and market momentum here leading into the rest of Q1. So with all that being said, guys, let's look into our technicals here for the day. So very big sell-off early in the day. CPI report came out early this morning, and then from the open, pretty much, we had a little bit of recovery early into the open, but then really dumping down. So what did the bears try and do? We were always saying, guys, as soon as this daily move tops out, How do you know the move is topped out? Is when you lose the hourly uptrend. So today, the bulls lost the hourly uptrend, had a nice little hourly uptrend going here, and now the bears engulfed, flushing our previous lows on the hourly, engulfed, but the bulls, significant rally back to the upside. The bulls recapturing, and the QQQ is going to be the same. You'll see the bulls recapturing almost 80% of the downswing. So the bulls now set up for a potential new hourly trend change to the upside. We still haven't lost the 4-hour uptrend either, but if ever we flush today's lows here, guys, well, that will just be hourly downtrend in the favor to the bears, 4-hour downtrend in the favor to the bears, and start of our daily consolidation. The bulls playing nice defense here on the daily. The low of the day was right at the 12 EMA, and we do have enough space on the daily here to potentially have a higher low setup for daily trend continuation. So the bulls are still healthy, but tomorrow they have a lot of proving to do. If for ever which reason we lose the lower time frames, guys, we're still looking for a higher low, anything pretty much above 466.25, looking for that higher low for trend continuation. We still have not lost the daily timeframes here, and the weekly bulls are still in control of this trend as well. As a matter of fact, guys, we even put in a higher high on the SPY on the day. You can see we put in a higher high on the day before flushing here. So the bounce is continuing now, and the bulls still are healthy on the short term, but tomorrow is going to be a very big day, and we do have financials earnings, which we'll be covering on the channel tomorrow. Now moving on to QQQ. QQQ, bit of the same thing as SPY, right? So we were measuring the size of the bounce. What happened with our CPI early this morning? Flushed, lost the hourly uptrend by cutting our most recent higher low here. And now the bulls with a decent recovery. Put the fib on this. How much of the move have we recovered? Pretty much 80% as well. So the bulls do have a good chance of resetting the hourly uptrend here into tomorrow, but it will be key because if tomorrow, if we do lose the lows of today, well, it'll be hourly downtrend confirmed, 4-hour potential downtrend confirmed as well, and your daily consolidation will be started. The positive lining, the silver lining here, guys, is that with today's higher rise and the early morning here, we'd have recaptured over 80% of this most recent sell-off on the daily here. So remains to be seen. Can the bulls, if we lose lower time frames, can they hold up for a daily higher low for further trend continuation here for the new daily uptrend, as a matter of fact? Or tomorrow, if tomorrow's positive, we'll just start recapturing more and more of this and V-shaped to all-time highs. Moral of the story, bulls are still in control here, still have decent moves, and still in control on the weekly in terms of the weekly uptrend as well. And your monthlies are still looking good too. So tomorrow, very crucial day with financials earnings. Now moving on to financial sector themselves, you'll see financials actually the first time that we've put in some price action below our daily 12 EMA ever since the November rally. So markets were kind of topping off here on financials reacting very negatively initially to the CPI read. Why? Because rates ever started ticking up ever so slightly. Take a look at your 20-year yields. 20-year yields on the morning had a big spike here right after the CPI. And then the bulls were able to recapture this. Well, bond bulls were able to recapture this, sending yields lower. And you saw it on the 10-year as well. 10-year had pretty much the same price action. And then the bears here on the yields, meaning the bulls on the bonds, set the hourly downtrend here on the yields. So now yields continue to trend lower. So that is why financials had a little bit of a drop and then pop into the end of the day, still maintaining this daily 12 EMA double bottom here at your daily higher lows, right? 37.40 was the area to watch. So bulls still in control of this daily uptrend right here, but looking fairly tight here at the top. So keep a very close eye on our financials. We've been pointing out here, guys, the daily divergence, right? Bearish divergence here in terms of the RSI and in terms of your price action highs. So that is a bearish indicator. There's also a little bit of a rising wedge here, which broke bearish with today's trading. So will remains to be seen, guys. Tomorrow, financials earnings are absolutely crucial to the maintenance of this chart. If for ever which reason they are bearish, well, daily consolidation will most likely be starting on XLF financials. And if we lose our daily higher highs and higher lows here, losing the daily uptrend, well, your weekly consolidation is going to start as well. Luckily, the bulls have tons of space to work with here. Keep an eye, 37 to 36 is going to be the area here. Big supply zone for the bulls, right? 12 EMA in this area as well. So if we do have bad financials earnings, bad financials guidance, guys, we are going to be potentially pulling down into this area. So keep an eye on that. Obviously, if you get a bullish read, well, your daily trend will just continue to the upside as if nothing happened. But really preparing for the worst here, right? And if financials get dragged down tomorrow, you need to see QQQ pulling a little bit of the slack here, or your SPY will really start pulling back heavily if financials have a big red day. Moving on to healthcare here. Healthcare here kind of acting on the day as if nothing happened at all, right? So daily uptrend simply just continues on healthcare. Higher low is right here, 138.67. So any pullback at this point, just looking for a daily higher low for daily trend continuation. No red flags by the bulls yet, not losing the 1 hour uptrend yet, not losing the 4 hour uptrend either. So your daily chart does remain healthy. And in terms of the weekly here, guys, 11 weeks of upside right now. If for whatever which reason we start losing this series, guys, as in previous videos, just looking for the weekly higher low here. This whole area, beautiful area of support now, 136.50 all the way down to about 132.50-ish. That's going to be the area where healthcare bulls will most likely be able to pull back into. Currently battling with our last area of resistance here, 141.79. And then it's up to the all-time highs, guys. All-time highs, 143.50. So we're very, very close. The bulls may be running out a little bit of steam here, overbought here on the daily, but as long as your lower time frames stay healthy, the bulls are still in control. It's up to the bears to start proving it to them that they want to pull back here on XLV. Now moving on to IWM Russell. IWM Russell also flushing our previous lows, actually setting in motion the daily downtrend here with the breach of the lows. Lower low has been set. So IWM Russell is one of our first, actually the only index to be putting in a daily downtrend read. So at this point, guys, daily downtrend means that weekly consolidation is just still heavily underway here. You guys know that we've been saying on the Russell, 188 all the way down to 182 is our sweet spot for the pullback on the Russell. Tons of space for the bulls to set the weekly higher low. Now, in terms of the bounces here, guys, when will you know that your daily downtrend is finished? Well, we need to see a reversal of the hourly uptrend. So the bulls will need to do a lot of work here. Going to need to eventually see an engulfing move, recapture that hourly uptrend, and then we need to recapture this high right here, 196.85, if we are to bounce into tomorrow. Just keep an eye on the Russell here, guys. One of our first indexes to hit that daily downtrend. If for ever which reason, guys, with the bears, just continue to hammer these lower time frames here, well, your daily downtrend will simply continue at that point. Keep an eye, guys. Once again, 188 down to about your 182 level is going to be the sweet spot pocket for the IWM Russell, in my opinion. But now bears in short-term control, so we're going to need to see eventually when the bears stop their momentum to the downside, bulls need to recapture the hourly uptrend. Only when they recapture the hourly uptrend will your daily bounce be confirmed, and then we'll be looking for an engulfing move the size of the bounce, similar to exactly what happened here, right? So to keep an eye on that for IWM, but I am going to be a buyer of IWM. If you start stepping down here into the mid 180 range, that is where I'm looking to open a few positions on the Russell. Now moving on to the Dow Jones. Dow Jones also pulling back heavily on the morning, but recovering nicely intraday here, guys. So daily series of higher highs and higher lows continues. Daily uptrend continues healthy on the Dow Jones here. Any pullback at this point, setting a new 52-week high here. Again, a new all-time high on the morning ever so slightly. So our daily uptrend simply continues here. Any pullback now just for a higher low, anything above 37,273, just looking for a higher low for further trend continuation. RSI is now cooled off ever so slightly. Dow Jones doing a great job of consolidating here sideways. And your lower time frame bulls here, guys, still relatively in control. No real loss of the hourly trend yet. The higher low was right here. Didn't lose it on the day before pulling higher, and even on the 4-hour trend as well. Do still control this 12 EMA on the 4-hour. Keep an eye on this, guys. They really haven't lost it that much ever since starting this trend in November. So it's up to the bears to prove it to us on a couple of these sectors, right? Namely financials and namely the Dow Jones. Until the bears put in their engulfing moves, the bulls are still in control here. Dow Jones looking very healthy. If for whatever reason we lose the daily series of higher highs and higher lows, set the daily downtrend, weekly consolidation on the Dow Jones will just continue. It's been 3 weeks now of pretty much sideways consolidation. Beautiful bull flag here. Consider this area here of pullback 36,900 down to about 36,400. That's going to be the area where we have a likely pullback zone into previous all-time highs, and your 12 EMA is right there as well. So just keep an eye on that, guys. Tomorrow financials, I can't stress this enough. Super pivotal day for the markets. They will have some great insight for the consumer. So markets can really go either way. It's really going to prove whether or not this is going to carry SPY tomorrow, in my opinion, guys. whether or not SPY can really recover today's downside and really reset this hourly uptrend, or if financials have a very brutal day, we may be trending to the lows and may be due for some further daily consolidation here, guys, and into further potential weekly consolidation on the SPY as well. So financials, key data into tomorrow. Now moving on to crypto here, guys, going to cover crypto briefly. So Bitcoin, bit of a sell the news event here, right? So on the day here today, starting the morning with a very bullish morning here and then pulling right back. If you take a look at some of your crypto stocks here, guys, I know you guys look at a lot of these. Mara, huge pullback today. This is one of your Bitcoin miners, right? Top to bottom, almost 28% before ending the day, pretty much down towards the lower $22 area. So big sell-off in our crypto stocks. Even Coinbase, which was benefiting from the rally up to the ETF. Coinbase now pretty much consolidating here, setting your daily downtrend in motion as well. So clear as day, daily downtrend is now set on Coinbase. Coinbase with a brutal reaction to the downside here, top to bottom, about 12% after a gap up open this morning here, guys, giving it all back and more. So Bitcoin ETF event was seemingly a sell the news event. That's what some of the fears were said to be. But in terms of the chart here, guys, not looking too bad at all. We did reject a little bit from our resistance zone. The resistance zone, I'll remind you, was between about 47,000 and about 52,000. Rejecting from that. Bull still in slight control here of your daily uptrend. Currently, we're going to need a break of the lows here, 43,313, to change that. But as of now, Bull's in still control, just looking for a daily higher low for further continuation into the zone right here. Weekly reacting negatively from the zone, but still about 2.5 days remaining of trading. Weekly is still in a weekly uptrend as well. So any pullback just for a higher low above 40,500 here, even if we do retrace, there's a very big area of support, right? This whole area right now, guys, this whole previous zone right here, about 44.5 is going to act as pretty decent support as well. Your moving averages are right there. So we'll see what happens to Bitcoin, but obviously the short-term price action was sell the news. Now on to Ethereum. Ethereum having a beautiful rally here, guys, right? Ethereum really starting to outperform versus Bitcoin. So take a look at this chart, ETH towards BTC. We were taking a look here, guys, on the weekly. You'll see it best. We were taking an eye on this descending wedge, right? So now Ethereum starting to put in a little bit of an engulfing move to the upside. If we can really break here towards the upside, break this ascending wedge, break above the moving averages here, we may have a little bit more momentum on Ethereum with this nice engulfing move. Is it going to be Ethereum's time to shine? Well, Ethereum doing a lot better job than Bitcoin in terms of breaking the levels to the upside, right? Look at this beautiful daily move higher here. Now bulls with tons of space to set a daily higher low, anything above 2169. Looking for the daily higher low, and this whole area right here, right, 2400-ish is going to be acting as new price support if ever we do pull down into there. The moving averages are there as well. And in terms of the weekly, guys, you're looking at a very beautiful weekly breakout here. Weekly uptrend just continues to be confirmed by Ethereum. So Ethereum looking a lot healthier than Bitcoin. Is this going to be the time where Bitcoin pulls back, Ethereum just pulls back a bit less, and then when Bitcoin has a little bit more of a rally here, will we see Ethereum start gaining the levels more than Bitcoin? It seems as though that trend has started, so keep a very close eye on that rotation between Bitcoin and Ethereum. Now moving on to our major tech names. So Apple with a bit of a negative day here, 0.32% to the downside, but your daily bounce is still underway. So daily downtrend was confirmed by the bears, of course. We were looking for the size of the bounce here, and the bounce is underway. You know that you keep the bounce as long as the bulls control the hourly uptrend here. So daily bounce was set here, got the higher highs over the course of the morning. Look, daily uptrend confirmed here, but now bears with the engulfing move after CPI, flushing the lows. So now loss of the hourly uptrend. It's up to the bears to prove it, right? That if they want the hourly downtrend, if we get the hourly downtrend into tomorrow, guys, your daily bounce is done at this point, and we will be looking to then the bulls have to protect the lows here. But the size of the bounce does favor the bears for follow-through continuation. The bounce only getting as high as about 40%. That's not enough, guys, to guarantee a daily higher low and daily trend change. Can the bulls do it? Yes, but the probabilities are not in their favor. The probabilities would favor, after such a weak bounce, a lower low, revisiting potentially our 181 down to 175 area. If ever that does happen and Apple starts trending lower, keep an eye on that, guys. I will be targeting this area, 181 down to 175. for writing puts. And even on the weekly here, guys, if we just continue to give back the weekly levels here, weekly engulfing move by the bears, weekly consolidation is still underway here. If we continue trending lower into this zone, it'll still just be weekly consolidation, and then it'll be up to the bulls when we do get our confirmed daily bounce potentially after this, right? Daily uptrend, have to set the daily uptrend. Then on the weekly, we will measure the size of the bounce in relation to this most recent downswing. But one thing, first things first, need the bulls to set the daily uptrend. And as of now, guys, tomorrow's going to be crucial. Can they reset the hourly uptrend, or will the bears roll over, take out today's lows, and really send us into this another leg down of daily consolidation here? Then you'll be looking to protect these lows. So Apple not looking the best, but then again, is approaching our temporary buy zone. Now moving on to AMD. AMD holding up better than most here, guys, right? So AMD was looking for the recapture here of the daily uptrend. With such a nice engulfing move, recapture 100% of the move here, the expectation is to be setting a daily higher low. We were saying whenever this bounce tops out, look for the daily higher low. How do you know that the daily bounce has topped out? Well, they must have lost the hourly uptrend, right? And that's exactly what happened into today, loss of the hourly uptrend, but nice intraday recovery. So we will see tomorrow on AMD, right? Top to bottom, pretty much, you're talking about an 80% recovery here on price intraday, similar to the indexes pretty much. So we will see, can AMD recover this hourly uptrend here and continue putting in the levels and setting the daily higher low right here with the low of today and just continue with this daily uptrend? Or if they continue to roll over into tomorrow, well, our daily consolidation just simply continues, and we're looking for a daily higher low, anything above 134.13, looking for that daily higher low to be manifested here. So AMD bulls still in control, reacting nicely from our 12 EMA. Keep an eye on that. And on the weekly, guys, weekly is still looking fairly bullish. Weekly uptrend is confirmed. We did get our weekly higher low right here, trying to push through the high. So we'll see, guys, right? Depending on what happens with this daily time frame, could AMD potentially be in for, at best, some sideways consolidation, which would just be a weekly bull flag similar to what Microsoft has done? We will see, but all is key for tomorrow here, guys, for the indexes and for a lot of your tech names here to be able to set these daily higher lows and potentially rise a bit further here. If we do start giving back, there is tons of space here. Bulls still deeply in control. And if for whatever reason, guys, down the line, we lose this and we start coming down into further weekly consolidation, weekly bull flag 132 down to 128, guys, is going to be my sweet spot still on AMD. But AMD looking fairly good, all things considered. Moving on to Amazon. Amazon, a little bit of green amongst all the red here today, guys. So Amazon almost up 1%, engulfing your previous move, exactly what you want to see. Daily downtrend was set. Now the bulls engulfing all of this most recent selling move here. Beautiful move to the upside. So now when this move tops out here, guys, just looking for a daily higher low, anything above 144.15, looking for a daily higher low for further trend continuation to the upside. Bulls now recapturing control of this chart right here. And this whole chop zone right here, let's call it the 153 area, will be acting as support as well. If not, you do have your moving averages down here. In terms of the weekly here, guys, Amazon looking very good. Weekly trend breakout, right? We got the weekly higher low last week. New weekly higher high today. So weekly uptrend just continuously in motion for Amazon. We'll see how they end the week tomorrow. Going to be very crucial for them here to close the week at the high, really give the bulls the best chance at some continuation into next week. And Amazon with some earnings here pretty much Thursday, 1st of February. So keep a very close eye on that. My buy zone for Amazon pretty much is anywhere in the lower 140 area, really with this big area of price support. If for whatever reason we trend back down in there, no signs of that now. And on the monthly, Amazon is still very healthy. So still a bit of a mixed market here today from Amazon. We'll see, can the bulls recapture this hourly uptrend? If for whatever which reason we lose it into tomorrow, well, daily consolidation is underway, and we'll be looking for the daily higher low for trend continuation. Moving on to Google. Google down here today. Google, very volatile day here, guys, today. After setting new 52-week highs here, pulling back heavily on the day, ending pretty much almost flat here on the day here. So very volatile. Daily uptrend is still in full control by the Google bulls at this point. However, so when this move topped out, we were just looking for a daily higher low. How do you know the move is topped out? Well, they lost the hourly uptrend here. Flush of your most recent higher lows right here, flush of them today. So it's up to the bulls here tomorrow. If you want continuation of the upside, need to reverse this hourly uptrend to the bulls. If we lose the hourly uptrend into tomorrow, setting the hourly downtrend, daily consolidation will be underway. Then we're looking anything above 136.78 for a daily higher low for further trend continuation. Bulls are still in full control here, guys. And now we're above this entire area, right? So now levels pretty much 142 all the way down to about 138. This entire zone here is going to be used as support by the bulls now that we're above it. Google looking very, very healthy. Weekly breakout is confirmed as well. Weekly uptrend just continues. Weekly higher low was set last week, 136.75. So bulls still looking good. I'd like to see them end the week strong, not pull back too hard into tomorrow, which would give a really really big doji candle on this. If we take back more of this move, the weekly won't be looking as good, but now so far so good, and we do have a bunch of areas of support down here, so I'm not too worried for Google. Long-term bulls are still well in control in terms of the monthly as well. Weekly bulls are in control as well. It's just the daily may have signs of pulling back a bit, but at least we have very, very, very beautiful support areas in the lower $140 range. Moving on to Meta. Meta, very good day here today, guys, after pretty much pulling back on the day here, ending the day at the highs. And Meta, pretty much just like Google, never lost the daily uptrends, right? So, unlike some other tech stocks here, never lost the daily uptrend. So we'll reiterate that fact. Now, once your daily consolidation is underway, if we lose the hourly trend tomorrow, your daily consolidation will be underway. So that's how you know this move will have topped out. Loss of the hourly. We'll see what happens tomorrow. If we do get daily consolidation here, guys, anything above 340.31, just going to be looking for a daily higher low for further trend continuation here. Meta with some nice previous resistance right here, which will be used as support, as well as your 12 EMA right down here. So 356 down to 360 is your first layer of support right down there. Just going to be looking to protect this for a daily higher low for further uptrend. Meta looking very good on the weekly as well. Weekly uptrend simply confirmed with last week's low, higher highs into this week. So Meta bulls are in full control of the timeframes right now. If we do get a little bit of a pullback here, guys, should just be heavy, healthy pullback right here. So really, you know, the burden is on the bears for all of this stuff, because as of now, the bulls are still in full control. Tomorrow, pivotal day nonetheless. And on the monthly, guys, you guys already know the drill. Meta, very, very healthy. Our next area of resistance, if we do continue the uptrends here, all-time highs around 381, 382. Now moving on to Microsoft. Microsoft, you know, after having spent so long in this range here, guys, it only takes 2 days and now new all-time highs on Microsoft. So Microsoft up 0.5% here on the day here, pulling back ever so slightly from its new all-time highs of 390, but looking very healthy nonetheless. Daily uptrend is very healthy. So if we lose the hourly uptrend here by setting lower lows, cutting today's lows into tomorrow, well, daily consolidation will already be underway for Microsoft. Microsoft has very, very good areas to be bouncing off of right now. Daily higher low, anything above 366.73, looking for the daily higher low. And you guys already know, right? It's going to be the top end of this range right here, 377.50. You have your moving averages right there as well. So this is going to be a very good area. Breakout, retest potential for the bulls before a future leg up. So looking very good on Microsoft. Microsoft weekly breakout here, weekly breakout to the uptrend is still good on Microsoft. So Microsoft looking for them to close the week strong in the best case scenario here. Bulls are in full control now at this point, guys. Monthly uptrend is just reconfirmed at this point. Weekly uptrend, full control by the bulls at this point, and now daily uptrend, full control by the bulls as well. So just keep an eye on your shorter term time frames here hourly to know when this daily move up is done. But so far, looking fairly good, even on the 4 hour here, guys, still not losing your 12 EMA. And the 12 EMA is usually your bullish indicator when we do start a new daily uptrend. Now moving on to Netflix. So Netflix, very good performance by Netflix, our best performer here in major tech. So very, very good day by Netflix, really in doing the rest of the move here, engulfing the rest of the move. We were looking for the size of the bounce, daily downtrend by the bears, looking for the size of the bounce. The bounce size was healthy for a higher low, but the bulls said, no, we're going to V-shape this right away. So at this point, guys, the daily downtrend is lost by the bears, but we still need the bulls to set the daily uptrend in motion now, right? So now the bulls, very, very healthy bounce. Any pullback, just looking for a higher low, anything above 462.63, just going to be looking for a higher low for further trend continuation. Keep an eye on these moving averages. Good support down here, 474.11, and your moving averages for some short-term support to help the bulls in doing that. And keep an eye on your hourly uptrend here, guys, right? So Netflix really doing a good job here of putting in an hourly uptrend. We'll see if they can tighten this up into tomorrow, continue the hourly uptrend, and continue this daily bounce going. If for ever which reason, guys, we lose this into tomorrow by flushing today's low, well, you guys know the drill here, guys. just going to be healthy daily consolidation, looking for the higher low here for further trend continuation on Netflix. Netflix on the weekly looking good as well. Netflix weekly bull in full control. Weekly higher low is set right here, 463.81. So going to be keeping an eye. Can we close the week strong on Netflix as well? And your monthly bulls are in full control of Netflix too. Keep an eye. Netflix, guys, right? Price action may not be able to run too much before earnings. Earnings already coming up in just over a week and a half in 2 Tuesdays. So keep a very close eye on Netflix for that. That will be the make or break for Netflix, whether we really start putting in another beautiful leg to the upside or whether or not we're due for further weekly consolidation into my buy zone right here. 452 down to about 425 is going to be the area. If ever for which reason earnings are not well received by the market, we pull back into this area, right? Even from current levels, let's just call it about anywhere between a 7 to 12, 13% correction. I will definitely be looking to take some positions on Netflix down here. Now moving on to NVIDIA. NVIDIA continuing to surprise everybody today, right? Setting a new high of the day, new 52-week high, new all-time high, 0.87% to the upside here. So NVIDIA bulls full breakout mode currently, right? So when will you know that this move is topped out? Well, just look at your hourly timeframes here, guys. The bulls we're doing a good job here, guys. We lost the 12 EMA on the 1 hour, right? The bears with an engulfing move here lost the hourly uptrend. And now the bulls were like, nope, we're going to V-shape this right back. So can the bulls maintain this hourly uptrend into tomorrow? If for whatever which reason we roll over and flush today's low, well, you guys know the drill. Daily consolidation will be underway at this point, and the bulls so much room to work with at this point, guys. Anything above 473, just looking for a daily higher low for trend continuation to the upside. NVIDIA with no red flags whatsoever. Weekly bull flag breakout to the weekly uptrend as well, and monthly bulls now in full control of this monthly breakout chart as well. So monthly bulls, weekly bulls, daily bulls, full control of NVIDIA. Any pullback right now, guys, is just going to be for higher lows on all those time frames. And this 500 area, the 12 EMA now above your previous all-time high. So 510 down to about your 500 is going to be previous support, which the bulls can pull back into. But everything looking very healthy on NVIDIA. Now our three last ones, Tesla. Tesla, guys, very bad day on Tesla, right? So now we're pretty much at the lower end of this range here, guys, right? So very, very negative, even cutting the bottom of your 227.50, ending the day pretty much just below that, minus 3% on the day here, guys, right? So pretty much just in terms of interest rates, right? Very, very interest rate sensitive stock right here, and just was not well received by CPI. And even have a headline here, Tesla drops prices of some new China Model 3 and Model Y cars. The Chinese price wars continue. They were reiterated in an article last week where BYD was slashing some of its prices on its cars to compete with Tesla, and now Tesla just competing to the downside as well in these price wars in China to gain more market share. But in terms of the technicals here, guys, daily downtrend is in full control of the bears at this point, right? Almost cracking here, almost closing below our area of range. I wouldn't call it a true break of the range. Would need to see really a lower low close below down here into about the 225 and lower area to really give a clean break to the bulls, filling the remainder part of the slight little gap that was right here. That was about 225.38, filling the rest of that gap here. So we will see, can the bulls put together a little bit of a rally here, guys? We are oversold on the 1 hour, but the bears have just had control of this hourly downtrend the entire time. You see the bulls unable to set the hourly uptrend. So tomorrow, if we want to see a bounce from here, need to engulf today's closing price, 228.38, reset the hourly uptrend here, and that's how you know your daily bounce will be underway. As long as we can't confirm an hourly uptrend, guys, your daily downtrend, your daily downswing, the second leg of the downtrend will just continue at this point. Further areas of support now very low. 210 is going to be the next area. We are currently in my sweet spot for buying Tesla. My sweet spot, I'll remind you, 230 down to 210, more favorable between 220 and about 200. So we're going to be keeping an eye on that. Tesla earnings coming up in pretty much 2 weeks. We already have the deliveries numbers. We know that they were better than expected. So we'll see, can they translate that into better guidance for the stock, and have they maintained EPS and margin? Those are going to be the key statistics to watch here for Tesla earnings. But as of now, bears in full control here. Watch your lower time frames for your hourly trend change. Once the hourly trend change has started, then we measure the size of your daily bounce, and we'll want to get as close as possible at 241.45 to set the bulls up for a daily uptrend reversal here. But now, even on the weekly here, guys, running the risk of losing the weekly uptrend. If we close the weekly here below our 227.81, it will be a loss of the weekly uptrend, not a weekly downtrend. For that, you need lower high, lower low setup, but the bulls will have just lost all this most recent momentum. Kind of unfortunate for Tesla, but fortunate in the fact that if we do want to go shopping, guys, we're quickly coming up on the lower end of my sweet spot here. So I'll be very interested here, especially after earnings, to go shopping in the lower 200 zone. And now lastly, Palantir and PayPal. Palantir, you know, a little bit of a dip here on the day here today, but recovering nicely intraday. Same thing as the rest of our charts, right? So daily downturn was set by the bears, looking for the size of the bounce. The bounce on Palantir was fairly decent, right? Coming almost up to the 618 level and now retracing a little bit. So the bounce was key, but the bears have now engulfed on the hourly. So can the bulls change this hourly trend back in their direction tomorrow, or will we roll over here into further hourly downtrends, which will mean your daily consolidation is now underway? Looking for the bulls to put in a higher low, anything above 1570, to still have an attempt at the daily trend change. The bounce size is adequate enough to potentially get a daily trend change here, but all is not guaranteed and is not as high as I would have liked. I would have liked to see it go as high as about 1740 to really guarantee, not guarantee, but put most of the odds in their favor for that daily trend change. But now the bulls need to absolutely defend this area right here. And it all starts with the hourly trends here. Can they continue this daily bounce into tomorrow? Or will we already start looking for the second leg down here on the daily right here? Actually, third leg down here on the daily. Keep an eye. If we do send this leg down on the daily, need to protect this zone. If ever we lose this area here, guys, you're looking for this area right here, 1550 down to 14, huge area of support previously on the weekly. So Palantir, short-term timeframes, just like the rest of the market, are absolutely key to continue these bounces or send us into daily consolidation. Now, lastly, PayPal 0.64% to the upside here today. So PayPal really just consolidating sideways here. Not too bad, right? But in terms of the price action here, guys, focus on the short-term timeframes, right? The hourly chart is currently tightening up right now. We will see, can the bulls get a start to a new hourly uptrend into tomorrow, which will give us our daily higher lows here and potentially a start of a new daily uptrend. PayPal holding up better than most after this daily engulfing move, loss of the daily uptrend, right? Daily engulfing move for the bears. Now putting in enough of a size of a bounce here to potentially start a daily trend change. So that is what we're looking for right now. We're looking for this to be a daily bull flag into potential daily trend change. That will need to have a break of Tuesday's high, pretty much 61.93. If we get a break of that, daily uptrend has resumed to the bulls, and then we'll be looking to break this big area, 63.50 to about $64 is going to be the major area of resistance. It is our previous area of weekly highs as well. And if we do break that as well, guys, we will get a weekly uptrend. So PayPal, still a little bit of work to do. And obviously, guys, you know the drill. If for whatever reason we lose the daily uptrend into the hourly uptrend into tomorrow, well, daily consolidation simply continues, and we're looking to protect this low with our lives, 57.41, right? Still going to be looking for the daily higher low if the bulls can set that into a daily uptrend, or if we just roll over here into a daily downtrend and further weekly consolidation. That would be your worst case scenario. So really taking this on a day-by-day basis. A lot of these things, guys, haven't yet, other than Google, Meta, and Microsoft and NVIDIA, right? A lot of names here, guys. AMD as well, still looking healthy. A lot of names here, guys, still being held back a bit, right? So the more positive ones, right? So Apple, fairly negative daily downtrend. AMD, still positive, tons of space. Amazon, right? Breakout to the upside, creating a bunch of space now for the daily uptrend. So Amazon's good. Google as well is good. Daily uptrend confirmed, tons of space. Meta still good. Daily uptrend confirmed, tons of space. Microsoft as well, tons of space. So they've turned team bull. Netflix looking fairly decent, creating a bunch of space here, right, for the daily higher low. NVIDIA, tons of space. But really Tesla, Palantir, PayPal still struggling ever so slightly on the list. So big tech pulling their fair share in terms of the weight. So let's just see, can big tech continue these daily trend changes, which will help QQQ break its all-time highs here, continue breaking the all-time highs. If the bulls can really get these trends into motion here, we will be looking to break our previous all-time highs, which is set pretty much a couple of weeks back, right? Still struggling in this previous resistance zone. You'll see, guys, it's a big zone. We still haven't had a clear weekly break above it. So big tech set up nicely for it, but need to confirm that into tomorrow and the next few days with these daily trend changes. So we'll keep an eye on things every single day, guys. I hope you enjoyed today's video. I hope I didn't come across as too bearish. That was not the point, guys. It's just the work we're not yet out of the woods, right? But if for every which reason we get extended daily and even weekly consolidation in earnings season, you guys know it is shopping season for 2024. I do believe the end of the year will be a lot bullish in terms of the macro environment, a lot more bullish than we are now in this period of uncertainty. So any of these extended dips on the stocks that you like most, positive free cash flow, positive EPS, growing revenue, growing margins as well. Those are the things that you want to be looking for in companies this year while we're still in this environment of uncertainty between, is the Fed going to cut? Are they not going to cut? When are they going to cut? How much? Is inflation truly gone? Still a little bit of sticky elements on the table here, guys, but look to the positive side. We are a lot better than we were at the same time we were last year, right? So at least we have a lot more positivity in the markets. The macro is looking a ton better. So we have to be focused on the positive sides. We're going to take things day by day and continuously shop for golden opportunities in the market here, guys. Like I said earlier in the video, very tough to predict in the long term, 3, 6, 9 months out, exactly what the Fed's policy is going to be, exactly what the economy is going to look like. The best thing we can do is focus on buying quality companies and running our weekly option strategy to farm some premium on these beautiful companies that are at areas of support that have solid business models. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video here today, guys. If you did, consider dropping a like. Tomorrow, huge day, financials earnings kicking off our earnings season. And as always, guys, if you're new to the channel, consider subscribing. We would love to have you here. Over 600 of you have subscribed so far. I love each and every one of you for it. And as always, guys, if you have any questions, technical analysis, stocks, options, macro, feel free to leave it down below in the comments and I'll get back to you as soon as possible. Apologies for the late upload. Had a few things to take care of tonight, but happy to get the video out nonetheless. I'll see you guys tomorrow after the close on Friday. Take care. Peace.